Hello there. My name is Joseph, but you can call me Joe. I used to be a simple shepherd with a colorful coat, but now I'm the right-hand man to Pharaoh himself here in Egypt. Quite the leap, right? I mean, one day you're interpreting dreams, the next you're in charge of the entire kingdom's food supply. Life sure has a funny way of working things out. Let me tell you about the time I met Asenath. Picture this, the grandest palace you can imagine. I'm talking gold everywhere. Floors so polished you could use them as mirrors, and pillars so tall they seem to touch the sky. It's a wonder I didn't trip over my own feet just gawking at it all. But amidst all this splendor, there was something, or rather, someone, even more dazzling, Asenath. Asenath, the daughter of Potipharah, the priest of On, was the epitome of grace and beauty. She was smart, kind, and honestly way out of my league. But hey, a guy can dream, right? The first time I saw her, I was too busy with my administrative duties to really notice. It wasn't until one of Pharaoh's grand feasts that I truly saw her. There she was, entering the hall with an elegance that made my heart skip a beat. I was in the middle of giving a very important report, but as soon as I saw her, I lost my train of thought. I decided I had to introduce myself, so I gathered all my courage and walked towards her. Of course, in classic Joe fashion, I tripped over my own robe and nearly knocked over a table full of food. Smooth, right? "Are you all right?" she asked, a smile playing on her lips. "Oh, just testing the floor. It's very sturdy," I replied, trying to sound nonchalant but probably looking like a complete fool. From that moment on, I couldn't stop thinking about her. Every day I'd find excuses to pass by her quarters, hoping for a glimpse of her. I even started volunteering for more tasks just to keep busy and not seem like a lovesick puppy. I decided to organize some activities that required collaboration with the priests, which conveniently included Asenath. It wasn't long before we started talking more. Our initial conversations were, let's just say, filled with humorous misunderstandings. My Hebrew accent and her Egyptian dialect made for some interesting exchanges. One time I tried to compliment her cooking skills. "Your bread is delightful," I said, but with my accent it sounded like, "Your head is a frightful." She laughed so hard I thought she'd never stop. I was embarrassed, but her laughter was so infectious that I couldn't help but join in. Despite the language barriers, we began to bond over our shared interests. We both loved learning about different cultures and traditions. I showed her some of the Hebrew customs, and she taught me about Egyptian rituals. It was a delightful exchange, often punctuated by my clumsy attempts at Egyptian dance moves, which left her in stitches. But it wasn't all fun and games. During this time, Egypt was facing a severe famine. This was the major event that truly tested our relationship. I was responsible for managing the grain supplies, and it was a daunting task. I worried constantly about the people's well-being and whether we'd have enough to last. Asenath, seeing my stress, stepped in to help. She organized groups to assist in the distribution of food and offered moral support. Her involvement and dedication were truly impressive. There were times when cultural differences led to misunderstandings, like the time I misinterpreted a ritual gesture and ended up offending a local elder. Asenath quickly smoothed things over with her charm and wit. Through these challenges, our bond grew stronger. We learned to communicate better, to support each other, and to laugh at our mistakes. Asenath became my rock, and I became hers. The famine was severe. People from all over Egypt and even neighboring lands came to us for help. My job was to ensure that the grain we had stored lasted through the famine. It was a daunting task, and there were days I felt like I was carrying the weight of the world on my shoulders. But Asenath was always there, ready with a smile and a solution. Asenath took on a vital role. She organized groups to help with the distribution of food, ensuring that everything was fair and efficient. Her charm and intelligence made her a natural leader, and people respected her. One of the funniest moments during this crisis was when she managed to turn a chaotic crowd into an orderly line by starting an impromptu singing session. Picture a crowd of grumpy, hungry people suddenly breaking into song. It was absurd but effective. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. We had our share of misunderstandings and cultural clashes. One day, I suggested we ration the grain more strictly. Asenath, used to the Egyptian way of generous hospitality, thought it was too harsh. We had a heated debate, and in the middle of it, I accidentally knocked over a pot of precious grain. The look on her face was priceless, and we both burst into laughter, realizing how ridiculous we were being. Despite the challenges, we managed to keep the peace and ensure everyone had enough to eat. Our teamwork was like a well-oiled machine, and through it all, our relationship grew deeper. We learned to value each other's strengths and cover for each other's weaknesses. One particularly touching moment was when a little girl who had been given extra food by Asenath came up to us with a handmade doll. She gave it to Asenath as a thank you. Asenath's eyes welled up with tears, and I felt a swell of pride and love for her. This was the woman I wanted to spend my life with. By the end of the famine, Asenath and I had become an unstoppable team, our bond forged in the fires of adversity. Our story, filled with humor, love, and resilience, continued with many adventures to come. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this tale, give it a thumbs up, comment your favorite part, and subscribe. Don't forget to share and check out our other videos for more amazing stories. See you in the next video.